In the most unforgiving ecosystem on Earth, a world of brilliant white and piercing cold, survival is a war waged with patience. For the apex predator of this kingdom, the polar bear, life is a constant battle against an ever-present enemy, hunger. But what if you could turn your greatest weakness into your ultimate superpower? This is the story of how the polar bear transforms a single meal into a life-saving shield, a biological superpower that lets it endure months of darkness, famine, and the harshest conditions imaginable. It's a story of survival that's taking a shocking new turn, defying everything we thought we knew about their fate in a warming world. Because here's the thing, against all odds, in a part of the world that is warming faster than almost anywhere else, some polar bears aren't just surviving. They're getting fatter. A groundbreaking study in Svalbard, Norway, revealed a paradox that has stunned scientists. Despite rapidly melting sea ice, these bears have found a way to thrive, packing on more fat, not less. How is this possible? The answer lies in the incredible properties of fat, and a story of adaptation that is far more complex and surprising than we ever imagined. To get the polar bear, you have to get the rhythm of the Arctic. Life here is governed by the sea ice. When the ice is thick and sprawling, it's a massive hunting ground. This is the time of feast. But when the ice retreats in the warmer months, the seals, their main course, vanish into the open ocean. For the polar bears left stranded on land, the time of famine begins. This isn't a diet. It's a brutal, life or death fast that can last for months. A male polar bear can lose over 2 pounds of body weight every single day it's on land. For a pregnant female, the stakes are even higher. She'll enter a den, give birth, and nurse her cubs for up to 8 months, all without a single meal. Her survival, and the survival of her new family, depends completely on the fuel she stored in her body before the fast began. That fuel is fat. A polar bear's life quite literally revolves around it. When we think of fat, we usually see it as a bad thing. But for a polar bear, fat is a triple-action superpower. It's their armor, their pantry, and their water bottle, all rolled into one. First, and most obviously, it's insulation. A thick layer of blubber, up to 4.5 inches thick, sits right under their skin. Combined with their dense, 2-layered fur, this fat layer is so good at trapping heat that adult males can actually overheat when they run. It's a personal, custom-fitted parka that never comes off, allowing them to handle temperatures that can drop to 40 or 50 degrees below zero. Second, fat is nature's most efficient energy storage unit. Gram for gram, it holds more than twice the energy of protein or carbs. A polar bear in peak condition can be up to 50% fat. This isn't obesity. For a polar bear, this state of profound obesity is perfectly healthy. It's a carefully built energy reserve, a biological battery pack designed to power them through the long, lean months. While a human might struggle to last a few weeks without food, a fat polar bear can survive for 4, 5, or even 8 months on its reserves alone. And third, in one of nature's most brilliant chemical tricks, their fat is also a source of water. The Arctic is often called a polar desert because there's very little fresh water to drink. Eating snow would dangerously lower their body temperature. So, how do they stay hydrated? When a polar bear's body breaks down its fat reserves for energy, a byproduct of that metabolic process is pure water. They literally make their own water supply from the inside out, a crucial adaptation in an environment where it's otherwise locked away as ice. But to build this life-saving superpower, to stack up a fortress of fat, the polar bear has to be one of the most effective hunters on the planet. And its entire strategy is built around one thing: finding more fat. Their primary targets are ringed and bearded seals. These animals are essentially swimming torpedoes of blubber. When a polar bear makes a kill, it often eats the skin and blubber first, the most calorie-dense parts. That's where the real prize is. They can absorb a staggering 97% of the energy from the seal fat they eat. A single large seal can provide enough energy to last a bear for more than a week, a critical deposit into its energy bank. The hunt itself is a masterclass in patience and power. The bear might wait for hours, motionless, by a breathing hole in the ice, just listening and smelling for a seal to surface. When it does, the attack is an explosion of white fury. This hyper-carnivorous diet, almost all fat and protein, would be deadly for a human. So how do they handle it? The secret to the polar bear's high-fat lifestyle is hidden in its DNA. About 400,000 years ago, polar bears split off from their brown bear ancestors. In what is a remarkably short time in evolutionary terms, they went through a series of rapid genetic changes to handle the extreme Arctic. Scientists discovered that some of the most dramatic changes were in genes related to heart function and how they process fat. One gene, in particular, stands out: ApoB. In humans, this gene is responsible for making the protein in LDL, the bad cholesterol. High levels can lead to clogged arteries and heart disease. But polar bears have mutations in this gene that let them process huge amounts of fat and cholesterol without any of the negative side effects. Their cholesterol levels would be incredibly dangerous for a person, yet they show no signs of heart disease. They've essentially evolved a genetic cheat code that allows them to thrive on a diet that would kill us. It's a profound evolutionary pivot that turned a dietary poison into the very key to their survival. This brings us back to the baffling situation in Svalbard. This Norwegian archipelago is seeing sea ice disappear faster than most other parts of the Arctic. So, you'd think the polar bears here would be struggling, their body condition getting worse. But a long-term study published in 2026, which tracked nearly 800 polar bears for over 2 decades, found the exact opposite. After a dip around the year 2000, the bear's body condition index, a scientific measure of their fat reserves, started to go up. They were getting fatter, even as the number of ice-free days increased. Researchers were stunned. But they think they've figured out the reasons for this temporary good fortune. First, the retreating ice is, paradoxically, making hunting easier in some spots. As the vast ice sheets shrink, seals are getting more concentrated in the remaining patches, turning them into a dense, easy-access buffet for the bears. Second, the Svalbard bears are showing impressive flexibility in their diet. They've been seen hunting land-based prey more often, like reindeer, and even feasting on walrus carcasses. It's a testament to their adaptability, a short-term fix for a long-term problem. As lead researcher John Ars of the Norwegian Polar Institute put it, it's good news, for now, but he and other scientists are quick to add a major word of caution. This resilience is probably temporary. The story of the Svalbard bears is one of surprising resilience, but it's not the story for all polar bears. It highlights a critical fact: climate impacts are local, and not all bear populations are in the same boat. If you travel across the Arctic to western Hudson Bay in Canada, you find a completely different and much more grim reality. Here, the ice-free period has gotten 3 to 4 weeks longer since the 1980s. For every extra day a bear is forced to fast on land, it loses precious fat reserves. The results have been devastating. The bears in this region are, on average, smaller and thinner. Fewer females are able to pack on enough fat to successfully carry a pregnancy to term, and cub survival rates are dropping. The population has plummeted. Between 1987 and 2021, the number of bears in western Hudson Bay fell from around 1,200 to just over 600. This is the other side of the story. For these bears, adaptability has hit a wall. The longer swims to find stable ice drain their fat reserves, and the extended fasting season pushes them to the edge of starvation. This is the future that scientists fear is waiting for even the thriving bears of Svalbard if warming continues unchecked. The tipping point might be invisible until it's already passed. The polar bear's mastery of fat is one of the greatest survival stories on Earth. But as we've seen, even a superpower has its limits. The adaptability of the Svalbard bears offers a glimmer of hope, while the struggle of the Hudson Bay population is a grave warning. Do you think their incredible ability to adapt will be enough to save them in the long run? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to keep exploring the amazing and complex stories from our natural world, make sure to subscribe. From a genetic quirk that tamed a deadly diet to a thick layer of blubber that acts as armor against the cold, the polar bear's relationship with fat is a masterpiece of evolution. It's a story of turning a challenge into a strength, of thriving in a place where most would perish. They are the kings of the Arctic, not just because of their power, but because of their incredible ability to harness the very essence of energy and turn it into life. Their fate is now tangled up with ours. Their future, floating on ever-thinning ice, is a powerful reflection of our own planet's health, and an urgent reminder of what we all stand to lose.